Today I'm going to show you how to clean and maintain a ClipSwitch flashlight. As you can see here, I've got a used ClipSwitch flashlight. This one is a friend of mine's. He uses it daily as his primary flashlight at work. He's a mechanic. And as you can see, it's got some nice wear here on the bezel, and anodizing is coming off of it. So he's found that if the light doesn't turn on right away when he pulls it out of his pocket, sometimes he has to wiggle the clip and then it starts working. But after a while, he has to do this pretty often, wiggling it quite often. So what he does at that point is he pulls the pocket clip completely off of there and then he cleans it. He cleans it with usually these lens cleaning towelettes. They're just basically for plastic. You can use them on metal as well, but he's found that these work really well because they don't leave any lint or anything like that. They're quick, they're pre-moistened. And like I said, he just pulls the pocket clip off of there, grabs one of these, wipes it all down, cleans everything up, sticks it back together, and it works great. Now I asked him to let me borrow his flashlight because right now it's not super dirty, but when you turn it on, it's got a little bit of flicker just because of the pulse width modulation that the light has. However, if you take the pocket clip and you wiggle it, you can see that it's getting brighter and dimmer as I'm wiggling it there. And it even goes off a little bit as I wiggle it. So I told him, let me take the flashlight and I will do a maintenance video and show everybody how to actually maintain the contacts, not just clean them, but actually maintain the contacts to get them like new again. So I usually use a screwdriver, just a flat blade screwdriver, and I put some masking tape over the end so I don't mar the light up. And then I basically come in. This is how you take the pocket clips off of these pretty easily. You just come in from the back here and gently pry underneath and just pop it right up like so. Let's see if I can send this flying. There we go. So as you can see, it's not too dirty right now, but it is a little bit oily in there. You can see some of the residue. And we're going to go ahead and just wipe this all down with this lens cleaning towelette, clean everything up, and then I'll show you actually how to maintain the contacts to make them like new again. So I've wiped the clip down, I've wiped the light down. Still have some residue in here that's stuck on here, and a little bit of residue elsewhere. We'll see how much of that comes off, but what I'm going to do to start out with is I'm actually going to take a Scotch-Brite pad and going to hit this, basically go through, clean all this up as best I can with Scotch-Brite on both this portion inside the pocket clip, and then this portion is also a contact point. And then I'm going to take and clean up this portion here where the pocket clip rides, and this portion here. And I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Figure I might as well show you what I'm doing here. Give you a little sample. Rubbing it both ways here. Once you got that done, you can then go ahead and take your lens cleaning wipe, wipe it all down again. Make sure you get everything off of there. So that's looking pretty good. An important thing to note on the pocket clip, if you see right here, up underneath, it's kind of hard to tell here, but there's a tiny bit of a gap there. And we actually don't want any gap there. We want to make sure that there's no slack there before that hits. This will make sure that the pocket clip here is tied up against the body of the light, so as to make a good contact. This one isn't bent very far, but if your pocket clip comes off and it's bent to the point where it's like a wide gap like so, or even more like that, then you're going to want to actually bend the clip back. And I'll show you how to do that here. You're going to take basically a pair of channel lock pliers or regular pliers, tape up the ends so it's not going to mar the light, or mar the pocket clip rather. You're going to gently place it on the end here, like so. And then you're just going to press down gently until the 2 points meet. As you can see, now we have no more space there. Let's bend it back and see if it stays. Bend it a little bit. It's pretty good. All right, then you can also take this portion of the pocket clip, and you're going to want to take and just squeeze that. Not super hard, but just squeeze it a little bit and make sure that's tight. And we're on to the next step, which is cleaning with our Deoxit D5 cleaner. I have a big can like this, but you can also get these little sample bottles, which work just fine. It is basically an electrical contact cleaner and enhancer. Cleans up the metal contacts. This one you apply it with the little brush. This one is in the aerosol form. And I'm just going to take these off to the side, the pocket clip and the light, and going to spray it with this Deoxit cleaner. And then I'm going to take the Deoxit shield, which is basically a contact protector, and that's going to improve the contact. And that's going to make the connection be much more reliable, and it's not going to allow dirt and corrosion to build up as quickly. One thing I almost forgot, this pocket clip here, if you look right here at the end, you can see the groove, this groove that's built in here. That was done with this electric pencil, basically. You want to have a very sharp electric pencil. The tip needs to be very pointy. But as you can see right at the end here, that groove is nearly worn down. It's almost smooth, probably right where it makes contact with the body of the light. So before I clean it with Deoxit and before I put the shield on there, I'm actually going to take this over and I'm going to run another groove very carefully right down the middle. See if I can do this on camera here. I don't have it on, of course, it'd be really noisy. But basically run down that groove right down the middle again. So that way it will improve the connection. Basically you have 2 connection points at that point, instead of just one in the very center. It forces the clip to have 2 points of connection. So I'm back, and as you can see, I wasn't absolutely perfect with the electric pencil, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just tried to get it as centered as I could, and it's really easy to start bouncing with the electric pencil. It needs to be on the high setting, and you just have to have a groove down the middle. Try to keep the pencil kind of perpendicular to it, and you should be okay. But now you can see we've got a nice deep groove. I also went ahead and I took my Deoxit D5 contact cleaner and sprayed everything down. I used a paper towel to wipe off the excess, but I didn't wipe off the contact points with the paper towel because I didn't want to get lint in there. Looks like I got a little of the deoxit on my mat. So, I'm not sure how deoxit reacts with clothing or how good it is on hands. You might want to check into that. Anyway, so now I'm going to take my deoxit shield and I'll try to do this on camera for you. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure that you mix these things up real good. I'm going to take this out of here, grab a little bit out. I'm going to dab it down. And you just have to get onto the connection points. If you get a little on the outside, it's not going to hurt anything. As long as the light's clean anyway. You don't want to drag dirty stuff from the rest of the light onto the contact points. Let's grab a little bit more here. I wasn't actually looking to see if I was in frame there. Do this with the pocket clip as well. Let's grab this end. Okay, and we are just about done here. We're gonna let this sit for about 2 minutes here drying, and then we will pop these things together. And for the first little bit, while your switch basically wears in and you get the contact point here, the light might not work as well for a little bit. You might have to sit there and wiggle it a little. But after a few times operating it, it should start to work flawlessly. While we're waiting here, let's go ahead and pull our bezel open here. There is an O-ring. Normal flashlight maintenance. Make sure everything's clean in there. And then we're just going to take a little bit of, I have Nano-Gel 760G. Basically just going to dab a tiny bit on the O-ring there. Keep everything nice and lubricated. Sealed for this guy. Going to take this end. I'm going to put a little bit of Nano-Gel in there as well, because there is an O-ring there, it seems like. And we'll slide that bad boy back. Twist it around a little bit. Wipe off any excess. Looks pretty clean. Yep. Now she's all cleaned up and got this nice and smooth working back and forth. We will stick our pocket clip back on. I usually just look at either side when I'm going to install it and get it approximately even either side. And then just push it together, and you can make final adjustments once you get it together here. Tweak it a little bit there. Okay, everything's lined up. Turn it on here. A little bit of flicker from pulse width modulation, but nothing major. And actually sitting there rubbing it back and forth, and you can see it's working quite well. Much more reliable than it was before. And that's it.